Once you're rich, upgrade these things if you want to feel instantly confident. Number 1, your housing situation. I used to live in an apartment with 3 other roommates, and while I saved tons of money, I paid for it in my personal peace. I was stressed all the time. I was walking around this house on eggshells, trying to make everyone else happy, and when I finally moved into my old place, I could finally have control over my schedule instead of waiting around for other people to finish up their chores so I could get to my business. And while I am grateful for my affordable housing situation, I cannot tell you how many times I waited for other women to get out of the bathroom so that I could do my hair, or I waited for someone else to finish up in the kitchen so that I could cook my healthy meal. Your environment predicts how you're going to behave in the future. Hi everyone, I'm Emily. I'm an engineer in my 30s, and on this channel, I give you the scientific strategy to glow from the inside out. These are the things that I have invested in that have actually made me feel happier and more confident. Because believe me, you cannot buy your way into becoming her. You can absolutely waste all your money at Sally's Med Spa on 2nd Street and never feel like that girl. There is no magic treatment or serum that will finally make you feel confident. Number 2 is your workout routine. No, you do not have to pay for that overpriced Pilates membership. $35 per workout class is absolutely insane. If you have very specific aesthetic goals, okay, maybe then it is worth it for you to invest in a personal trainer. But I think you can get a lot farther just upgrading the gym you go to. Like, you could go to a fancy gym like Equinox or Lifetime Fitness and not spend as much as you're still paying for Pilates classes. I love them, but guess what, guys? Like, they're not gonna do that much. Like, you doing your hot girl walk will probably do more to change your body than going to Pilates once a week. Number 3 is your friends. I got some harsh truth for you. Your friends are either holding you back or they're helping you grow. If you're still only friends with the people you knew in high school, they're holding you back because they're attached to this old version of you who you're trying to grow out of. They're actively trying to keep you stuck in your own identity. So if you now have come into all of this extra income, you're now that rich bitch and you've just gotten your dream job, you can now afford to get yourself into better rooms. You can afford to go to those paid networking events. You can afford to go to the country club. You can afford to upgrade your environment and the people around you. If your council of friends all still has a poverty mentality, you will stay stuck. You have to invest the time, energy, and attention in actually making friends who will help you grow and learn. Because whether it's a bad boyfriend or an old best friend who is secretly jealous of you, that will destroy your life from the inside out. In my 20s, I was in a horribly toxic relationship, and I thought this man had my best interest at heart. Really, he was just intent on keeping me small so that I didn't outshine him. And every person I have ever been with since, thankfully, has been immensely supportive. If someone is actively crushing your dreams, you cannot be with that person long term. Number 4, the thing you're going to invest in if you want to actually feel confident is your education. Everything can be taken from you except the things that you have learned in your mind. I could lose everything, but guess what? I'm still an engineer. I still speak multiple languages. I have still read and learned outside of school since I've graduated. Please pick up a book after you graduate. There are so many fun things to learn about besides the boring books in literature class. You have an entire life to learn and grow. And the more that you grow as a person on this little personal development project, the more competent and confident you will feel. You build this thing called self-efficacy as you grow and learn. In case you didn't know, my mom owns a psychology company. So whenever we talk about psychology terms, I'm talking about her experience and her teachings on this channel. So this is the psychology behind why competence and learning makes you feel confident. That doesn't mean you need to learn boring things. Like, you could learn to be a better tennis player. You could learn to be a better cook. You could learn a new language, anything that interests you. You could learn about the history of fashion if that tickles your fancy. But the act of learning is something that has made me feel more confident than anything else. Even creating content. There was a time where I didn't know how to record or upload a video on YouTube. And now that I do, I feel like my little life character has upgraded in this personal game. If anyone has ever played those RPG games, it feels like in real life that your character is getting little personal upgrades as you learn new things. You're getting little personal improvement badges every time you get yourself a new degree. Don't go into a ton of debt for school though. I wish I had not done that. I have been paying back my school debt forever, and I deeply regret all that money I spent. There were so many other scholarships that I could have gotten if I looked into it, but I didn't know. And the other thing that is definitely worth the money that I have invested in on my lifestyle upgrade are my hot girl hobbies. There are a lot of stereotypical rich girl hobbies that you can have, like horseback riding and tennis and sailing, and they all sound great to me. And one of the wonderful things that happen as you're doing these rich girl hobbies is that you meet other people who have similar goals and lifestyles to you do. You naturally put yourself in the right environment. Yeah, it makes me feel more confident every time I have a tennis class. And also, I have this new fun thing that I can do with my friends. I'm going to be throwing a tennis tea and treats party soon. Doesn't that sound like a blast? It does to me. You may or may not know, I grew up in the country and I actually used to have horses growing up, and taking care of gigantic animals is definitely something that has made me feel more confident. It's a ton of responsibility, and anytime I have put more responsibility on my plate, it has made me feel more confident. And obviously, jumping over the fence with giant animals is definitely a big confidence booster. Again, a lot of what made me feel confident about tennis or horseback riding is just learning new skills and upgrading my personal character in this video game that we call life. As a special bonus, I want to talk about things that are absolutely not worth the money. I spent so much money in my 20s getting my nails done. These are actually press-ons from Glamnetic. I have had these on for a week and a half. I have played tennis. I have played pickleball. I have done laundry. I have washed my hair multiple times, and they are still so stuck on. At this point, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to get them off. The point being, you do not need to spend $80 at the nail salon every other week. If you want to glue plastic on your nails, you can do that yourself at home. It is not worth the money, not only because it's overpriced, but it's also bad for your health. So the ladies at the nail salon, file your nails to shit when they're filing them off. And I have had so many weak nails split in half and bleed even because they have filed them to oblivion. And I even went so far as to get a Russian manicure, which on the surface sounds so bougie and fancy and fun, right? In reality, in my life, it gave me a nail infection, and I couldn't wear nails of any kind for like 6 months. Save your money, don't go to the salon all the time. And then something else that's super not worth your money, anything that you're actively flexing on. So if you're buying designer clothes to flex for other people, if you're buying a fancy car just because you want to show off to your friends, it's not worth it. If you wouldn't have been happy with that purchase in isolation, it is not worth the money. If you feel the need to instantly show off on Instagram everything you buy, you're buying for other people, not yourself. Other people are not thinking about you as often as you think they are. When people see you in that fancy outfit, they think, wow, I would be such a cool person if I was wearing that. They don't think you're naturally cool. They think you're flexing. They think you have small man syndrome. They think you're trying to compensate for something. But in reality, the girl who's naturally confident, she can be herself and feel glowing without all the designer items. Having said that, if they make your heart happy, if you really want a fancy bag, guess what? I use it all the time. It makes my heart happy. Guess what? I have a nice car. I drive a lot for work. It was a purchase for me, not for other people. But I have purchased many a thing back in the day that I felt like were for other people, not for me. If you are constantly asking your friends for approval before you purchase something, they're spending your money, not you. I finally felt confident when I could make big purchases without asking the peanut gallery for their opinion. When I finally realized that my opinion was more important than what other people thought. And then you find yourself completely free from all this consumerism. You don't feel the need to flex. You don't feel the need to have the best outfit at the party. You can just show up and actually enjoy the event. But before we get off the subject of clothes, I really think everyone should realize that most of the things you see me wear are completely thrifted. I almost never buy brand new stuff. I am addicted to things like ThredUp and The RealReal. I am a budget queen. I have so many more fun things to spend my money on than new clothes. Anytime I see new clothes, I'm like, why is this so expensive? It's absolutely absurd. You can find pieces that still have the tags on them that are perfectly new and gonna last you for years. If you haven't done so already, definitely subscribe, because on this channel, I give you all of the scientific strategy behind what will make you feel confident and glow from the inside out. Bye!